Ooh, Black Friday shopping. I'd rather be playing Pokemon. So let's do it. This is a battle against acanady07, and he is from my Twitch stream, which I am getting the majority of my battles right now, so if you want to battle with me, make sure you follow me on Twitch, and yeah, you'll be informed whenever I stream. Anyway, we have Thundurus on Thundurus action right here at the start, although his Thundurus is the Therian form, or Terrier, something like that. Regardless, I knock off his choice specs as he Volt Switches, so he's going to do a little bit less with that Volt Switch, but it still does a ton, thanks to, normal Thundurus, or even Therian Thundurus, not being very defensive. Regardless, I'm going to go ahead and knock off this Dragonite's item as well, and it is a Lumberry. And, yeah, he's just going to get out a Dragon Dance, so that's not particularly good for me. Yeah, really did not want to see that. So, yeah, he's going to use Extreme Speed, just kill me. I always felt that was kind of tacky, using Extreme Speed with Dragon Dance, but to each their own. It is going to be able to take out my Thundurus, although pretty much anything he used at that point probably would have. So I go out into my Sableye, and that's going to scare him away because normal Sableye has Prankster, and I can just go for the Will-O-Wisp. I'm just going to Mega Evolve, actually, which, yeah, actually kind of might have been a mistake for me here, because if he would have stayed in and just attacked me, that could have been bad. Because I think that means I lose Prankster for Magic Bounce, I'm not really sure. Either way, he does switch out into his, own Mega, which is his Camerupt, as I go for the Will-O-Wisp, which obviously fails against the Fire type. So, yeah, he's going to Mega Evolve, and Camerupt is a pretty interesting Mega Evolution. It's extremely slow, even slower than regular Camerupt, but it's extremely powerful, especially with a special attack. Yeah, unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to do a whole lot with Fire Blast against my Swampert, and he's going to switch because, obviously, he's slower than even Swampert. So he goes out into his Rotom, which is not a terrible play, as I set up Stealth Rocks, just to set them up, because, you know, they're always good to set up. I mean, when don't you want Stealth Rocks up on your opponents, just chilling there and being annoying? So I'm going to go ahead and Protect, because why not? It gives me some extra healing and lets me scout his move. He's going to go for the Will-O-Wisp, and that tells me this is one of these bulky Rotoms, not a Choice Scarfer or something. Yeah, the Protect really did help, trying to just scout the set of this Rotom. So I go out into my Celebi here, who can obviously take a burn since it has Natural Cure, and takes the Volt Switch pretty nicely too. And, yeah, he's going to go out into Scizor here, and I don't know what kind of Scizor this is going to be yet, if it's going to be a Choice Band, or, even if it's, like, a Swords Dance one, I still don't want to take, like, a Bug Bite or something. So I go out back into my Sableye, and, yeah, he's just going to go for the Knockoff, which is pretty good for me, because Knockoff is not going to affect me, being that I'm a Mega Pokemon, he cannot knock off Mega Stones. So, yeah, he goes back into Camerupt here, it seems to be his, play. I thought he was going to over-predict and try to stay in or something, so I go for the Will-O-Wisp, and that does not work against the Camerupt. So I am going to switch out now, back into Swampert, hopefully to take another Fire Blast. He's going to wise up and go for the Earth Power, which does considerably more thanks to the fact that that is neutral against me, as opposed to me resisting it. So I'm going to go for the Protect, hoping that after the Protect I can take another Earth Power and maybe kill him with Scald, which he is X4 weak against. So yeah, I got my extra leftovers recovery, and I'm not really quite sure if I can survive. He doesn't feel like he can kill me either, so he's going to switch out into Ferrothorn as I go for the Scald, which is a pretty good play, because obviously Ferrothorn is not going to be taking a whole lot from Scald, or even Earthquake if I decide to go for that. But I do end up getting the Burn, which is pretty bad for him. Not that, you know, the Burn hurts Ferrothorn that much, although it still kind of does since most of its attacks are physical. But it's also the residual damage that'll really hurt the Ferrothorn in the long run, being that Ferrothorn is a bulky Pokemon. It does not want to really take residual damage. Either way, he goes for the Leech Seed as I switch out into Celebi. Not a terrible thing for me. And he's going to Protect here, and it's kind of weird this thing has Protect, considering it doesn't have leftovers by the looks of it. Maybe he has the Rocky Helmet. Sometimes I see Ferrothorns with that. Regardless, I go for the Psychic, mainly because I thought he would switch, and he does end up switching now into Scizor, and I go for the Psychic again, and I end up doing decent damage to the Scizor with Psychic, so I'm like, that's interesting. I'm going to go for it again, and this thing does actually end up having U-turn. Sorry, I go for the Ancient Power. I don't know why I did that. Probably switch it up. I don't know. But yeah, he does have U-turn, and he is using it this turn, so I kind of thought he would over-predict and try to just Bullet Punch me again or something. But no, that is really going to hurt, and he takes down Celebi, which, you know, is typically not something you want to have happen. Either way, I go back in my, or he goes back into his Thunderous as, yeah, he takes quite a bit of damage from the Stealth Rocks as I go in my own Scizor because obviously he had to show the switch first since he U-turned. And I go into Scizor basically because I have a Choice Band Scizor and I kind of believe now that I'm going to be able to take it out with a Bullet Punch at that point, and I am. Obviously, Thunderous does not have good defense, as I said prior. So yeah, he goes into Camerupt again, which is a good play. I'm locked in a Bullet Punch. I'm not going to be able to deal damage to it. I go into my Porygon too because I don't really want to take any more damage on Swampert. It really can't take much more of that. And he ends up missing, which is pretty bad for me because that's going to let me set up a Toxic on him. And Toxic is going to limit the amount of turns this Camerupt can do stuff. Now, my Porygon 2 is, I believe, EV to be physically defensive, but with the Eviolite, it's still going to raise its special defense to pretty good levels. And as you can see, that Fire Blast is doing about half to me, and because I outspeed it, I feel safe kind of just staying in here and recovering, because, yeah, unless he gets a crit, he's not going to really do much damage to me, and he's going to start taking a lot of damage from his poison, and yeah, he's going to switch out. He does not want to take any more of that residual poison damage. He goes back into Scizor as I go for another recover, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, this thing might try to knock me off, or it might have a fighting move, so I decide to go out into Sableye, because Sableye can't be knocked off, and it obviously is immune to fighting moves. He ends up just going for the Bullet Punch, so I probably could have stayed in and just tanked it pretty easily, but whatever. Sableye does not take that too nicely, and yeah, he's just going to go for a Bullet Punch again. I go for the recover to see how much it was going to do to me, and yeah, it did. I don't know actually why, because I already knew how much it was going to do to me. Yeah, so I switch out. Oh, you know what I thought? I bet, yeah, I know, because I didn't realize that my Prankster ability no longer worked. That's what I was doing. So I wanted to see what he would do. But now I'm going to switch out into Swampert to take the Bullet Punch pretty nicely. And yeah, I'm just going to Protect, because why not? Get some extra healing with the leftovers. It's a pretty good play. Why not? It wastes a little bit of time, but who cares, really? Either way, he's going to Bullet Punch and end up critting me here, so that kind of takes away all of the healing that I would have gotten from the Protects, but oh well. I am able to take this Scizor out with Scald, so that's not bad at least. And yeah, after dropping 6-4 early, I'm now looking pretty nice. He goes into Dragonite, and I'm actually worried about this because this thing can set up against Swampert without me having much opposition. Unless I get a burn off the Scald, I can't hurt him. So I'm just going to hastily switch into Porygon 2. Once again, I do not get the special attack off the download as he goes for the Dragon Dance. And yeah, that was pretty predictable, obviously, setting up on Swampert. I'm just hoping that I can survive an Outrage and kill him with Ice Beam. So yeah, as I said, Porygon 2 is physically bulky. Mine is physically bulky. And look at that damage. It took that Outrage with +1 attack like a champ, and I'm able to take it out with Ice Beam. So very good for me. He goes back into his Rotom here and ends up missing Hydro Pump, which was a really bad miss for him. I don't know if he could have killed at this point, but now we'll never know. And yeah, misses seem to be plaguing him. That's what happens when you use moves like Hydro Pump and Fire Blast, though. You gotta expect to miss at least some of the time. Either way, he goes for the Volt Switch, and yeah, he goes right back into Camerupt. I was going for the Toxic just to get the Toxic on his Rotom, and obviously I cannot Toxic the Camerupt again because that is just not possible. You know, in real life you might be able to, you know, infect a poison man with more poison to kill him faster, but not in Pokemon. Anyway, so I know that I can take a Fire Blast, so I'm just going to get some extra damage here with Ice Beam. Now that Fire Blast did a little more than I thought it would. I'm not really sure what the deal is with that, but now I'm going to recover and just let him go ahead and do his thing and try to damage me. He ends up going for the Earth Power, I guess for the accuracy, or maybe he's out of Fire Blast BP. I'm not really sure. Either way, he hits me back down to low yellow as his Camerupt dies. So there, his Mega's dead, and I don't really have to worry about that anymore. Either way, he goes back into Rotom, and he is going to end up connecting with the Hydro Pump this time to take out my Porygon 2. But, yeah, he's probably not going to do much damage to my Sableye with that Hydro Pump. So I go into Sableye. He ends up going for the Hydro Pump, and I believe he misses again, which really kind of sucks for him. So I'm going to basically be able to heal the full because of the Hydro Pump miss. And now I'm going to go for the Calm Mind because this is a Calm Mind Sableye. And at this point, he realizes he can't possibly win. He ends up connecting with this Hydro Pump. So as you can see, it really didn't even matter because the Hydro Pump wouldn't have killed me I was still in pretty green health, so, and it does less than half, so either way, we're just going to be able to heal in the long run. And I get a Calm Mind, he's just going to run here, realizing they lost. I usually don't like it when people run. I like it when they play it out. Better for YouTube that way, but I understand. Either way, good game. acanady07 was a fun one. Anyway, today's question today is, what is your favorite Pokemon media? Whether it be the games, the cards, the anime, the manga, and several other things. Obviously, I'm a Pokemon game guy. I mean, maybe when I was a kid I watched the anime. I don't think I've ever watched past season 1. But it was always the games that I really liked. I collected the cards too, and recently I've actually really liked the Pokemon what is it? The Pokemon Adventures manga. So probably the games and the manga are my favorites. With the games obviously being number one because yeah, they're Pokemon games, man. They're just good. Anyway, leave a comment about that, and see you guys again next time. Make sure you rate, comment, subscribe if you like this video. Bye.